The next thing we're going to have a look at now is the autofocus point selection. Now it may well be that when you get your camera, certainly if it's in an auto mode, it will take control of what it's focusing on. And so as I point it into my scene, it will work out for me, or it will think it's working out for me. Oh, that person at the front, we're going to focus on them. And that's fine if you've got a little baby on a blank floor. It will get it right most of the time. It can be a little bit messy sometimes, and we're going to get you onto a manual point selection. So what you do, because we're now in aperture priority mode from a previous video you've seen, that's what I've told you. We now want to change around where this spot focus is. We don't want it anymore jumping around, because we're getting good at this and we're going to control where the focus is. Now this is such a critical part of photography that I've actually done a whole separate video that it is online. It is a small product to be bought, because I've gone into detail on it and I've really stripped it down. I've got right inside the camera here looking through, and I'm showing you how to set up this point selection. And even if you stayed on automatic for the rest of your life, you need to know how to focus. But even as we're working away on here, you know, people can forgive a slightly dark or a slightly light photo, but it's got to be sharp and it's got to be in focus. It is so important, and these modern cameras have got so much, so many options for you. Hence me producing a video. So the link is for that. I really recommend that you invest in that. But how do we actually select it? Okay, so I press this on the front to wake the camera up, and I press this selection button here, and it's typically going to be like this with automatic selection selected already. That's a lot of selections. So all I do, same thing, this wheel on the top, I press it in, wheel on the top, and it will take me around. And what it's doing, again, you'll see this in this really detailed training. I can now tell it where I want it to focus. By leaving it here, it's going to stay under this center spot. That's really where you want it for the majority of your photography. But there are times that's fine like this when you're focusing straight through here at me in the middle. If I'm standing here to the side, you've got two options. You can either keep pointing and focusing on me and then moving it slightly, or this is where you would change this around, and if my face was sitting more to the side under this spot, then that would mean I could be taking my photos there, but my focus point is where I've told it, over to the side. But for the majority of what you're doing, press in here, roll this wheel round until it goes back to a center spot. Now I don't want this to sound like some sales video, please, it isn't. I'm just trying to tell you I really have broken this down into 8 videos right the way through as to how to focus and get this, and why you would choose different modes in different scenarios. So I'm just pointing that out because it would be wrong of me not to tell you about it. So that's how we change the focus point selection. If we'd got this screen off, or if this screen was shut away, when I look through here, I get exactly the same thing. So when I look through here and I press this, my screen will change to the spots and I can rotate it around.